Warm welcome to Swayam Prabha channel. Today we are going to discuss the topic Library Authority. I am Dr. Naushad Ali, working as professor in the Department of Library and Information Science at Aligarh Muslim University, Aligarh, Uttar Pradesh. As you all know, the library is a social institution with the role of preserving and disseminating human culture, civilization, and scholarly content contained in books, journals, and other documents. A library is an institution by society, for society, and of society. Sidney Shelton explains, quote, "Libraries store the energy that fuels the imagination. They open up windows to the world and inspire us to explore and achieve and contribute to improving our quality of life." Unquote. A library is a collection of information sources and resources of printed and non-printed artifacts made available to a defined community for their extensive use. Katzel identified 5 interacting situational variables as factors that determine the appropriate organizational structure and management style to be adopted in any organizations. That is, the size of the organization, that means the number of people, those who are working there, degree of interaction and interdependence of the members of the organization, the personality of members, degree of congruence between goals of the organization and those of members, and level of decision making. One area of organization in which the above factors play a prominent role relates to the power and authority. Prestes have defined authority as the capacity to invoke complaints in others based on formal position and any psychological rewards, inducements, or sanctions that may accompany the formal position. In contrast, the capacity to invoke complaints without relying on formal role or sanctions at its disposal may be called influence. So, the organizational conflict does arise from the distribution and exercise of power and authority in every organization. Such conflicts may occur between professionals, groups of persons, departments, or other units within the organization. When they occur, they hamper the effectiveness and smooth running of the organization. Therefore, the powers and the authorities of individuals and units in any organizations must be clearly defined to avoid conflicts of power and control. The organizing and functioning of virtually every institution depends mainly on the delegation of authority. In theory, the head of an institution has all the power and authority for the management of the institution. Since he cannot carry out this responsibility alone, he shares out part of his authority and power with the subordinates and subunits of the organizations to enable them to execute whatever part of his responsibility he entrusts or delegates to them. So, as you know, the librarian is a person who is in charge or in charge of the work professionally in a library and is responsible for its management and services. The librarian takes care of the library and its resources. The typical job of a librarian include managing collection, development and acquisitions, cataloging, collections management, circulation and providing a range of services such as reference, information, instruction, training, etc. So, the librarian alone cannot bear the heavy burden of governing, policy making and managing a library, because he has a lot of work to do. So their colleagues assist him in the routine library. The administrative and the policy issues are to be shared by some more persons. Apart from organizational issues, there may be financial, technical and workforce issues. Being a government servant, the librarian cannot successfully appeal to the electorate for funds and other requirements, whereas the authority or a committee is responsible representative body of the people can convincingly demand more funds, manpower and infrastructure. So, this library authority is playing very important role in this context. Let us now understand what is the meaning of library authority. Library authority, the word authority implies a person having the power to do something, the power being derived from his office or character or prestige. A person with power is authorized by a competent agency or authority to perform a specific job. The purpose of granting authority is to allow them to perform some kind of service by means of an administrative process. So, let us discuss now what will be the functions of library authority. The first and foremost function of a library authority is developing legal and policy framework. The role of the authority, its composition, tenure of the members, role of members, functions of members, etc. must be clearly spelled out in the respective laws and regulations of the library. Guiding principles, acts, ordinances, statutes to govern the library. The mechanism to fill vacant positions of the board, council members, etc. will be mentioned. The next function, we can say it is a clarity of mission and plans. In the library authority, there should be a written mission statement of the library with a clear-cut plan to achieve the mission. The third function, we can say it is a policy making and mobilizing resources. The library authority's significant role in policy making and resource mobilization. Effective use of resources, therefore, it makes sure it works and keeps it in shape. The fourth function, we can say, it is a decision making. The library authority makes decisions on behalf of the stakeholders about resources, facilities and services. And very important function, we can say, it is the effective bondage between stakeholders. There should be clarity of the functions and the relationships of the authority, the managers and the library staff. Human resource strategy support library needs, training and development in the library, effective staff review procedures like performance appraisal, etc. will be clearly mentioned in the library authority. Now let us see library authority and its composition. So dear students, let us find out how library authority functions in Indian libraries. As you know, in India we have many types of libraries: academic library, public library, special library, etc. So let us see, in the academic library we can find there are three types of libraries: school library, college library and university library. Let us see in the school library how this library authorities functions or works. What will be the composition of the library authority in the school libraries? IFLA, International Federation of Library Association, which describes school libraries exist within a framework of local, regional and national authority to provide equity of opportunity for learning and develop the abilities needed to participate in the knowledge society. In order to maintain and continuously respond to an evolving educational and cultural environment, the school libraries need to be supported by legislation and sustained funding. School libraries also exist within an ethical framework that considers the rights and responsibilities of students and other members of the learning community. Everyone who works in school libraries, including volunteers, has a duty to observe high ethical standards in their dealings with each other and with all school community members. So, as far as library authority is concerned in a school, the board of school management is authority and the school librarian is directly answerable to the principal. College library, similarly, in a college library, the board of management of the college will be the authority and the college librarian is directly answerable to the principal. If you discuss the library authority of university library, the university library is the heart of the university's work, which is rightly said by former President of India, Dr. S. Radhakrishnan. So, we can understand the importance of university library in the university system. So, if you discuss about the library authority in the university system, the library authority is based on the statutes and ordinances adopted by the governing body of a university. The statute made in accordance with the policy enunciated by the University Act would determine the librarian's status in the university's general setup and provide for its organization and administration. Generally, in Indian universities, the Executive Council is the library authority, but in actual practice, many powers are delegated by EC to the Vice Chancellor. So, the librarian is directly answerable to the Vice Chancellor. As far as Library Authority of Special Library is concerned, the Board of Directors or the Board of Trustees of the parent body is the authority of a special library. The librarian is answerable to the managing director or some other senior officer as per the statute or the ordinance or the act of the parent organization. Interestingly, the Public Library Authority structure is well defined in many states in India. The following structure is the structure of the Library Authority ultimately evolved and settled in India. The minister in charge public libraries, Library Council, Directorate of Public Libraries, State Central Library maintained by state government. These are the some library authorities as far as the public library is concerned. As you know, the public library administration, it is have been hierarchical from state to district to and taluk and municipality and panchayat. So, in the divisional libraries of in each and every revenue division, it is maintained by state government, followed by local library authorities, district central library maintained by local library authority, branches of district council libraries in each town, then block central library of rural area, village libraries as branches of block central library. So, this pattern of library authorities is applicable to the most of the public library system prevalent under the State Public Libraries Act. So, these authorities govern the working of public libraries under their jurisdiction, and hence there are to be considered in studying the governance of public libraries. Dr. Kalia has observed that the apex governing bodies have remained advisory, leaving the executive powers with lower ranks. The composition of these various library authorities is of ex officio elected, nominated and co-opted members. Ex officio members are included in the authority by occupying the respective offices. The democratic character of the library authority much depends on the elected members as they represent their respective constituencies. The government nominate experts and authorities co-opt distinguished persons for professional and other expertise. It will be clear if you discuss the composition of the State Library Authority. State Library Authority, their composition and duties and functions. The State Library Authority is the apex governing body through which the state government discharges its responsibility of establishing, financing and monitoring the public library system in the state. In most Public Libraries Act, this authority is named the State Library Council, in short we calling as a SLC. This State Library Council, the composition is the ex officio members, the minister in charge of education, who shall be the chairman of that council, the secretary education department, director of public instruction, director of education, the state librarian, 1 in 4 of the chairmen of district library committees, 1 representative of each university in the state, the secretary State Community Development Department, the chairman or the president State Library Association, director of the State Library Directorate, who shall be the secretary, 2 members representing Sahitya Parishads and other cultural organizations, then 2 members of the state legislature interested in the library development, not more than 4 non-officials having special knowledge of libraries to be nominated by the chairman of the council, provided that the council must have at least 4 professional librarians on it. So, the above composition of library authority is ideal because it is very comprehensive and provides for wide representation. Those concerns with the area of literacy, education, literature and culture, community information and community development, library and information centers, etc., find a place in the council. All principal modes of membership like ex officio, nominated, co-opted and elected are followed, making the council very strong and effective. The duties and the functions of the State Library Council are well stated in the Indian Library Association Model Act prepared by B. Venkatapaya in 1995. This discussed as the State Library Authority shall exercise a general responsibility for overseeing the public library system in the state. The State Library Authority shall establish, maintain and develop an integrated, comprehensive and efficient library service in the state. The functions of State Library Association are: the SLA shall be charged with the implementing the Act and acts as the final authority regarding public libraries in the state. It shall sanction the opening of new libraries and taking over of private libraries. It shall overview the functioning of the libraries under the Act, and in the event of default or failure to perform any duty by any library, the authority will take remedial action. It is authorized to make rules under the Act, and it shall also specify, lay down and publish library service standards, see that they are strictly observed and keep the standards under continuous review. And they also prepare the short term and long term plans. It shall exercise such other powers and perform other duties conferred on it by this. And the rules as are made like the SLC is the apex governing body in the state public library system. Hence, its responsibilities include giving directions to other lower and local councils in their work and supervising their proper implementation. This body translates the aspirations and demands of the public at large about libraries in the whole state. The council meets twice a year and its status is essentially an advisory one, though it is advice takes the shape of mandatory decisions. Okay, let me discuss the composition of the City Library Authority. City Library Authority, their composition, duties and functions. The city and the district library authorities are the next in the hierarchy of the library authorities in a public library system. The city library authority is for a population cluster of 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs in a municipal corporation area, and the district library authority for each revenue district. The composition of the city library authority, you can see there will be 2 professionals from the city have rendered recorded service to the cause of public libraries nominated by government. 1 member was elected from among themselves by the presidents of the governing bodies of the aided public libraries in the city. The councillors of the municipal corporation elect 1 member from among themselves, and other members include the government nominated 1 member from among the members of the recognized library associations working in the city. The district education officer, especially the adult education officer, the head of the district informatics center, the librarian of the city public library shall be the member secretary of the state library authority. The state library authority shall elect 1 of its members to be its chairman in its first meeting from among the non-official members. The city library authority applies to those city libraries which are part of the state public library system. The phenomenon of the city libraries with branches is found in the Karnataka public library system, where there are 11 city libraries of this type. The city libraries which are established and run by the municipal corporation themselves have a different pattern of governance. The composition of district library authority, it will be interesting to see how this district library authority DLA functions. The members include 2 district professionals have rendered recorded service for the cause of public libraries. 2 presidents of the panchayat or equivalent bodies are nominated by the government. 1 person elected by the municipal councils from among the councillors of each municipal council in the districts. The district adult education officer, 1 member elected by the presidents of the governing bodies of aided public libraries in the district, and 1 person nominated by the government from the recognized library associations working in the district concerned. The head of the district informatics center, the librarian of the district public library shall be the ex officio secretary of the district library authority. The DLA shall elect 1 of its members as chairman in its first meeting from among the non-official members. The DLA has to organize branch libraries, service centers and mobile libraries in the district. In some State Public Libraries Act, the district libraries have been entrusted with the responsibility of networking libraries in its jurisdiction. This new dimension is thus added to the governance of district libraries. The city district library authorities are scattered over the state, and they are responsible for establishing the central and other public libraries to cover their jurisdiction. So, Well, let us see the composition and duties and functions of Taluka, village and Panchayat libraries. In Taluka, village or Panchayat libraries are the units of public libraries functioning as a part of public library system in the state. They derive authority from the respective district library jurisdiction of which they work. There is no specific pattern of governance of theirs. Taluka libraries have the semblance of libraries, but those in villages and panchayats function as community centers. In their governance, the factor of linkages and other libraries and service centers is predominant. The recent amendments in 73rd and the 74th of the Constitution of India are affecting the previous pattern of local library authorities of libraries in the areas of municipalities and panchayat. Due to these amendments, the responsibility of establishing and monitoring these libraries rests with these local authorities. Thus, the state have yet to note the changes and incorporate them into their acts suitably. In conclusion, I would like to say that a powerful library authority is the symbol of good governance of a library. Being a social institution and not for profit organization, it is a significant responsibility of library authorities to govern their respective libraries successfully. As we discussed in this session, the structure, duties, functions of library authority may vary according to the library's nature, type and the purpose. Like a public library is governed by the public of the local community or the municipal body, the academic library is governed by the parent body, and the way the parent body is governed vitally affect the governance of the library. Thank you very much for your patience listening. Thank you.